Welcome to Passion for the Pastime, where baseball lives 24/7, 365. Catch conversations with beat writers, broadcasters, current and former players of all levels. Now here's your host,
Walter Balsetta. Whoops, I fumbled. I got to get out of here.
Walter Balsetta.
Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to Passion for the Pastime. Here, I'm Walter Balsetta. If you are new to the channel, welcome on in to Passion for the Pastime. Again, my name is Walter Balsetta. I currently work at KNBR, the home of the flagship of your San Francisco Giants. They were on KNBR yesterday. No. I was on Tuesday when they were playing the Athletics, not the Oakland Athletics, but love John Miller for always calling them the Oakland Athletics in that broadcast. That was a little nugget there for all of you guys. But welcome on in. Oh, you know what? I didn't even check. I've been sitting here. Didn't check if the microphone was good. Oh yeah, we're a well refined, well oiled machine now. It's been beaten into me the last couple of times where the microphone wasn't on, but we are good. We're good to go. What's up, everybody? Welcome on in to Passion for the Pastime. My name is Walter Balsetta. If you are a regular, welcome back. My familia, my family. I see Rockin' New Era checking in about 20 minutes ago, so hell yeah, Rockin'. Really appreciate you. I see Otis in the chat. What's up, Walter? And what's up, everybody? Hell yeah, man. Everybody say hello to Otis. Good to see Lori Galvin in the chat as well. Mike Val. So you see Mike Val in here as well. Wes, what's up, everybody? Good to see everyone in here. Otis chiming in on the A's. Yeah, Oakland, Sacramento, Las Vegas A's. Yeah, I still don't like it. I still don't like it, and this is what I like. There we go. What's up, Tacky? Good to see you in here as usual. But what's up, everybody? Welcome on back to Passion for the Pastime here on a Thursday, the last the last show of February. Look at that. We are getting ready, because I'm not doing a show tomorrow. We're getting ready to flip the calendar over to March, which, you know what? It was interesting because I started seeing all of these videos, and obviously, you know, baseball time and baseball season, you're always kind of flipping through and going on to MLB Network, and obviously you're going through Twitter and you're going through all that kind of stuff. And I just realized today they're doing 2 clubs in a day. It's not 30 clubs in 30 days for spring training. It's 30 clubs in 15 days. What the hell are they doing? Why are they doing that? I mean, are they trying to get all the clubs in before before the Tokyo series in Japan on the 18th? Maybe that's the reason. I have no clue. But 30 clubs, it's usually 30 clubs in 30 days, but then they're doing 30 clubs in 15 days. So they have a crew. And I believe it's Roflo. Roflo's doing the Grapefruit League, so we'll get Roflo on at some point. Spring is really busy for him, so it might not be until the start of the season. But we'll be in contact with our guy Roflo, and then Greg Amsinger and who is it? Yonder Alonso, right? Isn't that who it is for MLB Network? They're doing the Cactus League, so the Giants and the Yankees have their due airtime, I guess, on the 30 clubs in 15 days. That will be Oh no, actually, I think it's next Thursday. I think it's next Thursday on the 6th. Actually, I'll have to go back and look. I really wasn't paying attention too much to the schedule. I just saw that it was the Yankees and the Giants on the same slate. That's a hell of a day. And it starts at 6 o'clock. So whoever's on 30 clubs in 15 days tonight, it just started on MLB Network. So you guys can go ahead and check that out, record it, and check it out after the podcast, because you're here with the family. So we're going to be talking some Giants baseball here today. But anyway, that was just a weird note, because again, it's always been 30 clubs in 30 days. So I don't know the reason for. I mean, is it budgeting? I have no idea. 30 clubs in 15 days. It doesn't even sound good. I mean, 30 clubs in 30 days. That sounds fucking fantastic. I don't know what they're doing. Anyways, whatever. That's near nor there. Here nor there. Sorry about that. But what's up, everybody? Welcome back into Passion for the Pastime. It's been a fun week. We're starting to see some games get underway in Arizona and obviously in Florida, but we have a specific focus on Scottsdale with the Giants playing in Arizona in the Cactus League. So a lot of fun just to see these guys getting back onto the field. Today, what we have in store, we're going to be talking a little bit, a lot about the Giants, but there was a poll that was put up or a ranking or a list rather of comeback players. There is a Giant that made the list. We'll talk about that. We'll discuss. And our guy, Austin Scottsdale, we were going to have him on today. Reached out to him this morning and saw him at the KNBR studios. But he unfortunately is playing some pickup basketball, which that adds a whole nother level to the mystery of Austin Scottsdale, playing some pickup basketball. So he is unavailable tonight, but we'll get him next week because the content that he has been putting out there, he works for KNBR in the digital department. The content, we're going to go through a good portion of it. I think I have 3 clips logged in here for the show, 2 of them being Jung-Hoo Lee. And let me just say, I mean, the whole interview is on I believe the YouTube page for KNBR, Austin Scott with Jung-Hoo Lee, and he had other interviews as well. I believe a full interview with Willie Adames, which I also have here. But just to hear Jung-Hoo Lee kind of present himself, right? Because he has the language barrier for the Giants fans, right? We can't really we don't understand what he's saying, but then also he speaks through an interpreter, right? And I mean, we know. I mean, I know Spanish, right? But we've gotten used to, especially in this market, we've gotten used to having Spanish speakers go through interpreters. So now you have the Korean phenom, the grandson of the wind, right? And he's with the Giants, and he's going through an interpreter. But just to see the visual product, right? Because we work in radio, or I work in radio at KNBR. And just to see the visual product of a Jung-Hoo Lee, and I remember late in the season last year, he was on during play-by-play on NBC, and it's great. Like, just to see this guy's energy, just to see his aura, as Austin Scottsdale was saying pretty much when he was in Scottsdale the entire time, was he just has this presence about him that I think is infectious. So we'll play some of those clips as well. We'll talk about the Giants, but then also, I mean, hell, I buried the lead, guys. Today there was a Giants game. Luis Matos got in on the action. He hit a RBI double, really squared one up, hit it to the left center field gap. So that's really good. That's really encouraging for Luis Matos, because again, he's going to be vying for the 4th outfielder spot, and depending on how serious the situation is with Elliot Ramos, I haven't seen if he stepped back in the cage. I thought he was taking some light BP the other day. But I'm not entirely sure. I know that the time frame from earlier this week, they were shooting for sometime next Tuesday for him to get into, I believe it was into games for Elliot Ramos, but he's dealing with that oblique strain. And then you go to Tyler Fitzgerald, he's also dealing with some injuries, but we might start seeing some of these guys in the next week or so. Just got to take them, ease them into the action, right? You don't want to have them get injured or get hurt or have any setbacks going into the season and this early in spring training. So it's going to be really interesting to follow along. But buried the lead. We had a game today with it, and it was on MLB MLB.tv. If you have the MLB subscription, you could have gone in there and watched it. I think a majority of the major league games, the spring training games, I believe majority of them are in or are free, at least to a certain point. I think there's a couple of free games, but yeah, we'll definitely see more games of the Giants. And actually on MLB Network, they're going to be playing the Dodgers this Saturday, I believe at 1:00. So that's going to be must watch for the Giants. I don't know who's going to be slated for that game. I believe if it's a regular-ish rotation from what they've been doing, it's going to be Justin Verlander. Let me go ahead and pull up really quickly here to see. Nope, the Giants haven't named one yet. So it should be Justin Verlander if we're going, in a specific order here, because he pitched after Logan Webb. And Logan Webb pitches on Friday, along with two others that we'll get into who are fighting for a rotational spot because we haven't seen Kyle Harrison. He will be he will be getting some innings on Friday, so that's going to be a must watch as well. Because when you look to what is going on here with the you got me, Ernie. I heard the no. I read the no audio. What's up, Ernie? I read the no audio, and I was like, bro, what is going on here? Really? I just talked for 10 minutes, and there's no audio. What's up, everybody? What's up, Ernie? Good to see you in here, man. But today, I mean, I have the video here. We'll talk about it a little bit because he's kind of like the dark horse of this whole situation, right? I talked about Logan Webb. He's going to be pitching on Friday. We know his status in the rotation and everything like that. There's no secrets there. You saw Robbie Ray the other day. He looked good. Justin Verlander, he's coming back from his injury with his neck and his shoulder, right? So it's going to be really interesting to see how he can mix into things. But you figure that's 1, 2, 3, right? You're going to have Logan Webb. You're going to have Robbie Ray. You're going to have Justin Verlander. Beyond that, it's to be determined. I mean, it sounds like Jordan Hicks does have the spot in the rotation, but yet last night when we were talking with Marcus Boucher of the morning show with Murph and Marcus, we were talking to him last night. We had him on the show, and we kind of talked about Jordan Hicks, and he wants Hicks to earn a spot in the rotation, not just to be given to him just because of expectation or because of what he's getting paid, right? He wants him to earn it, and he might go out there and earn it. He pitched serviceable, right? I mean, he had 3K. I believe he had 3 Ks, 1 walk. Got into a bases loaded jam in the first inning, but he ended up going an inning and a third afterwards. So he's getting the work in, and the big thing with Jordan Hicks is the velocity was up there, and he was throwing it with regularity, and that seems to be a different approach that he is going to take this year. It seemed like they were trying to dial down the velocity a little bit with Jordan Hicks so that he can have longevity, but he's going out there and he's going to compete. And I believe that the high velocity is going to be something that he's going to continue to bring into his starts. Maybe he figured out something as far as conditioning. Again, he comes into spring training with 17 pounds of weight that he didn't have last year. So he figured that that's going to help him over the long haul of 162. But today, I mean, we talked about the entire rotation, and we've talked about Kyle Harrison a little bit. We'll get into him just in a sec. But Kyle Harrison, he's going to be going after Logan Webb on Friday, which is tomorrow, and Hayden Birdsong is going to be pitching in that game as well. So it's going to go essentially, I don't know if it's in this particular order, but scheduled to pitch is Logan Webb, is Hayden Birdsong, and is Kyle Harrison. Now, we know that Hayden Birdsong and Kyle Harrison are fighting it out, duking it out for that 5th spot in the rotation. But I mean, we can't not acknowledge this guy who was really a standout last year, and it's so funny because I was looking at, I was searching up Landon Roupp video, right? I was trying to find videos, trying to find pictures, all that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about Landon Roupp here in just a second, but I went back to my Twitter that I posted last year when Landon Roupp was kind of coming on the scene, right? And Landon Roupp was discussed probably about a summer before. So two summers ago, I think he was discussed on, at the time, I believe it was with Murph and Mac, when Landon Roupp was being discussed. And the first time I heard his name, and shout out Will Clark, he put me on to Landon Roupp. So to see that with how he has come into it, because I had never really heard his name before. I was trying to find my damn tweet, but essentially, I said last year that he was the surprise of camp, and everyone is talking about him and Hayden Birdsong at that time. We all know that he has that devastating curveball, and I'll show you here in a minute. But this kid is just coming out there and he is competing. And he really could be a dark horse in this whole situation. I don't know if he has a spot here for the rotation to start the year, but man, I mean, you start looking at the future of what these guys could potentially be, what this rotation could potentially be. Landon Roupp, I feel like, is in the conversation for 2026 and beyond, right? I would love to see him get an opportunity to start on opening day. And here's the thing. I mean, we've talked about it before. The starting rotation, the starting five is never the starting five that you finish with. There are things that happen. There's injuries that happen. There's arm fatigue that happens. So he's going to have to be ready when his time is called. But, I feel like he is pitching so well. And again, it's spring training. We can't look too much into it, but he's pitching so well and with such amount of confidence that I would really love to see this guy every fifth day at Oracle Park at 3rd and King, and to see what he can do with that ballpark. I mean, this guy looks like he has the tools. He understands the pitching mechanics. I mean, he has his sinker. He has a cutter now that he was working on in the offseason, and obviously the changeup, curveball. I mean, this kid looks incredible. But let's go ahead, and I'll stop yapping. I'll get out to the YouTube chat really quickly. But go ahead and see his 5 strikeout performance. 5 Ks in 3 innings, literally 9 batters, 5 of them were struck out, and I believe only 2 of them were by the curveball. But we'll go ahead and look through these videos here. But here's Landon Roupp and his performance today against the Seattle Mariners.
The right-handers 1-2 on the way, swing and a miss for strike 3, and that's going to retire the side. That makes sense, but down in the minor leagues, here's the pitch on the way, and a swing and a miss for strike 3.
That thing's nasty.
Roupp looks
that is a nasty
on that glove. Here's the pitch on the way, and a swing and a miss by Marlowe for strike 3. I was a sophomore in high school trying to figure out geometry.
3-2, strike 3 called.
He
wants to challenge
on it.
Our normal
and he got it.
Numbers. Here's the 0-2, swung on a miss, down he goes.
Look at that, dude. Landon Roupp is just, he's incredible. I mean, for somebody that was kind of under the radar last year, but again, I mentioned that Will Clark came on to the morning show like the summer before Landon Roupp kind of arrived in spring training last year. And he talked about him, and I started doing research. I'm like, who the hell is this Landon Roupp kid? He's talking about him in Richmond in Double-A. I had no idea who he was. Then I started doing some research and looking at him, and started seeing some videos, seeing some tape from Richmond at the time. And then he broke onto the scene last year, man. I mean, he looked really incredible. He's somebody that, when you ask him what his goals are, he wants to be a starter, right? So knowing that, and knowing that the Giants, and when we were talking with Susan Slusser, when we had her on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, talking to her, it sounds like the Giants are going to want to use these guys how they're going to be utilized. Like, you're not just going to have Landon Roupp get thrown into a bullpen situation. He did that last year, and he did it effectively, but the Giants organization wants him to get stretched out. I mean, he went 3 innings today. It's really telling that is the course of action. I mean, you're going to go out there and you're going to continue to compete, but you're also going to continue to rack up innings, to rack up pitch count, all that kind of stuff, because they want him to get stretched out by the time that camp breaks, to where he can be a guy that goes 5, maybe 6 innings, especially if he is a dark horse for that number 5 spot in the rotation. I mean, he has to go through a lot of guys, right? He has to go through Kyle Harrison, who, again, he'll be pitching for the first time. I guess he was dealing with an illness in the early goings of camp. So he'll be pitching for the first time tomorrow. We'll see what he is, but it's kind of interesting when you look to these guys' repertoires, right? I mean, the repertoire of what a fun word to say, by the way, repertoire. The repertoire of Hayden Birdsong. I almost can't say it. The repertoire of Hayden Birdsong. And the arsenal. Arsenal is much easier to say. And the arsenal of a Landon Roupp, right? You figure that those guys are more suited to be starters. They give you different velocities. They give you different arm slots. They give you all these different things that you would require out of a pitcher that's going to go deep into a game. If you're going to see a lineup for a second or a third time, that is what these guys bring you with Hayden Birdsong and with Landon Roupp, right? Kyle Harrison, not necessarily, and not my words, and hopefully I can have George Contos on at some point, but he said in multiple times on KMBR and even on NBC, I believe, But he has said that Kyle Harrison profiles more as a reliever because he has that high velocity pitch, but he doesn't necessarily have the arsenal that can get you through a lineup for a second or third time, especially if you're going against really good major league hitters, right? So then that kind of begs the question, what is the trajectory for Kyle Harrison? Obviously, he went into the offseason and trying to refine his mechanics and look at different grips and different pitches. And hopefully we'll be able to see that on full display tomorrow and into the rest of the spring, because if it's what he was doing last year, and obviously mechanics are a huge part of it, especially with the dip in velocity. But if he is going to go out there and kind of have the same arsenal of what he had last year, regardless of what the velocity is, I know he has upwards into the mid 90s of a fastball. But if that's all he has to bring to the table, and you're relying on that high velocity, and we know that he relied on the fastball at an enormous rate last year with over 60% usage, right? I'll have to go back and look at the graphs of how much he used it, but I remember specifically it was in the 60s. I don't know if it reached upwards to 65, 67% usage of the fastball. Maybe it dropped down a little bit as the season went on, but I remember there was a point in the season that his fastball usage was large, to where if it wasn't high velocity, if it wasn't hitting a location, then he was essentially throwing BP, right? So you're wanting to see these changes with Kyle Harrison. I know that he is going to get his fair shot. He's going to get an opportunity to make the opening day starting five, right, to be that number 5 starter. But Hayden Birdsong has looked pretty impressive as well. But you just saw there, we were talking about Landon Roupp, and he could be the dark horse in all of this in all of this situation. He could be the dark horse in spring training, to where he can vie for a legitimate spot in the rotation. And like I've said, and we've said before, and I said earlier today, I've said multiple times on the podcast, it's not necessarily, the starting 5. You have to have 5, 6, 7, 8 guys that can go out there and get you 5 innings, get you 6 innings, go deep into a ball game. But right now you're starting to see the Giants kind of have that. Like, I don't know what we have with Kyle Harrison as far as what his development's going to be. I would love to see him turn that corner. And like Marcus Boucher said yesterday, love to see him be that number 2 starter. But again, a follow-up that I didn't ask to Marcus is, would he be the second best starter on this rotation due to injury, due to the lack thereof with production from the other 3 guys in the rotation, or is it because he's that superior and he makes that big of a jump? That is a question that the course of 162 will answer for us. So that is my dialogue for today. Sorry, I was talking for 25 minutes. This is going to be a shorter show today, but wanted to get that out there when we start looking at the pitching. Love talking pitching, man. Love talking, just love talking baseball. Just love looking at film, looking at guys strike other people out. I mean, I just love seeing this at this point in the season. Again, it hasn't gotten to the nauseum of of its spring training ball, not yet, but I think we're going to get to it. Maybe in about like 7 days, maybe in a week from now. Maybe I'll have a different beat. What we're talking about as far as the spring training games just going way too damn long. But let's go on out to the YouTube chat really quickly, because I want to talk to all of you guys. That's what we do here on the podcast for sure. But let me go ahead and get on out to the YouTube chat. Say what's up to everybody. I know I said hi to everyone earlier, but let's see what you guys are talking about. I saw Ernie mess with me. I really appreciate that, Ernie. That was great. Yeah, always a classic. But all right, dude. Let's see what else we got going on here. Tacky helping out Ernie. Appreciate it. Had to restart. All right, let's get back out on to we had no hotel room, John. I couldn't get my nap in. I couldn't get my 30 minutes. That's a thank you, Pat H, for bringing that up. The Gregs did not get a hotel room. They're just they might be sleeping on the pavement right now in Indianapolis. I don't know what the status is. I still don't know if they got into the room. They were sharing a room at one point, which then that will be a very interesting story for Greg Silver to bring to their airwaves tomorrow. But I hope that they have their hotel room situated by now, because it is 9:00 over there, 9:30. So yeah, we'll definitely have to check in on the Gregs. But let's see here. If he's throwing at 100, the job is his. I believe that is in reference to Jordan Hicks. Am I correct there, Val? What's up, Mike? Good to see you in there. Roupp, there it is. Hell yeah, dude. That's the title. That's the title of the damn pod. That's what we went to. We channeled our inner papa. Roupp, there it is, motherfucker. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Tacky. Look, see, Tacky throwing me under the bus. Walter booked the hotel. Yeah, maybe. I don't, or didn't book the hotel. All right, let's see what else we got going on in the YouTube chat really quickly. By the way, everybody in the YouTube chat, let me know if Tim was still spewing things that I sent him in confidence. Jesus, I'm never gonna text Tim again. God, he texts Tim and he reads it on air. Let me know if he said anything else. Landon Roupp could be a wild card. We'll see. He pitched pretty well when he was out there last year. Yeah, no, he really did. I mean, the bullpen role that he found himself in, Otis, he took it, he embraced it, and he's just a good damn pitcher, man. I mean, he is a good pitcher, but he wants to be a starter, and I think the organization wants him to be a starter. So then that's where it becomes really interesting. When we were talking to Susan, that she was saying that the Giants organization, that they want to use these players, they want to develop them and get them into the habits that their role is going to be, or they want them to kind of mold into how they see them, right? So Landon Roupp, that goes for Landon Roupp. I don't know how they see Carson Whisenhunt. Maybe he's a bullpen guy, and maybe he's just a bullpen guy like Landon Roupp was last year. Maybe he's just a bullpen guy that comes in to get the experience factor, and then you stretch him out, right? Then you stretch him out, and you kind of prolong that longevity. Or you work that into the longevity of a career, right? You start them in the bullpen, then you stretch them out in the second year. I don't know if that's a developmental process, if that's what they're trying to do. That's what they did with Landon Roupp, or if that was mainly based on necessity. But you look at Landon Roupp, you look at Hayden Birdsong, those guys, that this organization wants them to be starters. You know that for a fact. Kyle Harrison, I think that the hope is still that he is a starter, but again, like George Contos has said, and I would love to have George on the pod at some point. I'll let you guys know when we can get that up and running. Maybe around St. Patty's Day, because last time I talked to him on a pod, we were talking about the Green River in Chicago. So that might be a good jumping off point with George. But yeah, no, I mean he went out there and said that he has the arsenal of being a bullpen guy. So just knowing that, just seeing that, and if there wasn't a big progression as far as what his arsenal is, maybe that's something that happens with Kyle Harrison, that he turns into a high leverage type bullpen arm. Maybe that's his future. I don't know. It's too early to tell, and it's too early to give up on the kid being a starter, but I would love to get everybody's thoughts on that. If you would prefer to see Kyle Harrison in the bullpen, assuming that a Hayden Birdsong, assuming that a Landon Roupp, and maybe assuming that a Carson Whisenhunt down the line can eventually fill the rotational spots. Last year's Keaton Winn, Keaton Winn was interesting as well. I think Keaton Winn is still coming back from an injury, right? So I don't think we're gonna see Keaton Winn anytime soon. Tacky Roupp gets disrespected in MLB The Show. How so? I would love to see that. See how he gets disrespected. Is it just like the attributes as far as what Landon Roupp could bring to the game? Also, by the way, we were talking about I'm going to upgrade at some point. I'm going to get the new Xbox so I can get the new game. I actually wasn't going to go that route. Because I was just, I got the updated rosters. I got my old Xbox. It's fine. I'll just do that, the Xbox One, and I'll play off of MLB The Show 24, right? But then I saw this news blurb that came out And this made me want to get the game even more. I saw Renell Brooks Moon. Love to have her on the pod as well. Well, she was one of the first people that reached out to me when I got Giants warm up last year when I was doing the warm up shows. Renell Brooks Moon is in the freaking video game. She is the public address announcer in, I guess, select games or I don't know what like the rotation is. There's two different people, but Renell is in the game. That made me want to get it. It's a subtle thing, I think. I don't know if they like go to the public address announcer in like special moments or something or big name players. I don't know how it works. I've never really paid attention to the public address in the video game, but now I'm like, dude, I got to get that. Renell's in it. That's incredible. That's awesome. So if anybody's playing the game, if they pre-ordered, right? Because if you pre-ordered, you can play it. Is that how it works? Because I've been seeing people playing the game. I've been seeing people playing the game on I think it was on YouTube when I was looking up some stuff. I saw people playing the game, so I don't know if that's a thing. If you pre-ordered it, you can play it now. But I don't know. Let me know. But yeah, no, I would love to hear what that sounds like. I haven't looked up videos, but I'll have to look that up for sure in a little bit. But let's see what else we got going on here. The Roupp is on fire. Hell yeah, dude. It's a fun name. It's a fun name. You can take it multiple ways. Whoop, there it is, or Roupp, there it is, right? I mean, that's the one that's the easy one. But the Roupp is on fire. Would love that one. Let's see. Yaz. Whoa, no way. Yaz being a 55 in speed. That's not great. And I love how because we do it in Madden all the time, right? How we use the game rankings and the game ratings as quantifying like how good a player is. A 55 speed, Yaz? Dude, do you guys remember I forget who it was. It might be David Ortiz. He had a zeros. No, you know what? I think it was Albert Pujols. He had a 0 speed. I'm like, how do you have a 0 speed? You can't walk? Like what? You can't have a 0 speed. Like you could be like a 2. You could be a 3, a 5. Like you can't be a 0. That is the most disrespectful thing that I've ever seen. Also, like going back into video games, dude, I gotta start streaming these games because I'm a huge video game nerd. If you guys can't tell, but going back into Madden, I always thought that it was the most hilarious thing when you go through these players and obviously like if you do like a franchise mode and you start drafting these guys, you draft someone with like an awareness of 15. I'm like, yo, how do you have an awareness of 15? Like, how did you make it to this level? How did you get drafted? Like, that doesn't make any sense. A 15 awareness? Like, come on, bro. I at least have I would hope that I have like a 30% awareness. Like I could see the players around me. Like how the hell do you have a 15 awareness in Madden? Same thing with the speeds. Like how do you have a 0 speed? I thought that was the most bizarre thing. But let me get back out to the YouTube chat. Sorry, I'm just getting off track. Harrison got a fastball, slider, and changeup. Yes, yeah, that's what he has. But his changeup wasn't effective. And he wanted to implement he wanted to play around with the grips so that he can have a changeup like Logan Webb. I mean, and it just hasn't come around yet. So we'll have to see. Maybe he worked on it. Maybe he worked on it because when we talked to him, I believe when we were getting ready for spring training, or maybe it was when they were doing the Fan Fest. He said that he was down there and he had been working with Logan over the off season, right? So maybe that's a part of it. Maybe that's something that, you know, it's all about the grip and the mechanics. That's also something that he had to work on as well, and the conditioning. I mean, there was a lot of things that Kyle Harrison, and again, he's learning, he's growing. There was a lot of things that he needed to address. So hopefully that good secondary pitch, because I mean, it's one thing to have the slider, it's one thing to have the changeup. It's another thing to throw it effectively, to have it be an effective pitch, an effective, out pitch, and it's one thing to believe in when you throw that pitch, because if you don't have belief in throwing said pitches, one, you're not going to throw them a lot. You're going to shake off your catcher. and then 2, you're not going to execute. So I think that's something that, again, baseball, a large part of it is mental. There's all these mechanics and conditioning, all that kind of stuff, but a lot of it is mental. We've talked about that before, as it pertains to, with Bryce Eldridge and Marco Luciano and Luis Matos. A lot of it is mental. You have to have a belief in what you're doing, and I feel like Kyle Harrison didn't have that in his secondary pitches, but he believed the hell out of his fastball. Then when he lost velocity, it just wasn't there. So that, again, it's growing pains for a young pitcher or a young thrower who is trying to evolve into being a pitcher. That's always the bridge. That's always the bridge with all these young pitchers that come into the league. Let's see what else we got going on in here. Let's see what else we got. It's all good, Walter. You're dropping the Oh, appreciate it, Otis. Appreciate you, man. Mama J, good to see Mama J in here. Really appreciate it. Wes chiming in. Kyle needs to prove something this year. He does. I mean, he's one of those guys where we were talking about a couple of episodes ago. Maybe it was last week, but I think it was at the beginning of this week, where we were talking about who has like the most at stake, right? Who has the most at stake during this spring training for the San Francisco Giants. And I think that it could be argued that it is Kyle Harrison. Like Kyle Harrison is kind of at not necessarily a crossroads, but he's at a point in his career that he needs to show improvement. He needs to show trending up, not flatlining, not staying at the same, and not growing as a player. So I agree with that, Wes, that this is kind of the time for Kyle Harrison to prove something, to prove that he is not necessarily, the number one pick or anything like that. Just prove that he can be a serviceable starter. I don't know, again, based on what we've seen, I don't know if he has it in him to be that top end of the rotation guy. He's looking more. I mean, he's fighting for a number 5 spot for crying out loud. So, I mean, you look at what his ceiling could be. I mean, he could get there, but it's starting to look more and more that he isn't that guy. But let's just see if he can be a serviceable, a reliable guy in a rotation for a full season. That's something that we haven't seen out of the kids. So really interesting in there. But let's go ahead to just sleep in the lobby. Yeah, dude. I'm glad you like that one. Papa's haircut would take up the whole bathroom. Oh my God, you guys are crazy. Let's see what loose lips, Tim. Hell yeah, dude. Let's see. If you were Lori chiming in, if you were making a lineup today with Ramos and Fitzgerald out, what would it be? Before I answer, I want to go ahead and see if anyone else has gotten in on that action. Found out that you and Copes share a birthday. I don't know if that's a good thing, Mike. I don't know if that's a good thing, dude. But congratulations. Let's see. Everyone else is saying nice. Mama J said nice. Wes said nice. All right, maybe it is a nice thing. I don't know. I'll leave that up to the jury. But let's see what else. Yeah, Otis chiming in. I'm definitely going to purchase MLB 25, the show. Great news regarding Ronell. Yeah, man. I mean, that literally, I mean, it's not the only reason. You always want to have like the new rosters, the new schedules, the new everything. It's the new toy. But when I saw the Ronell news, I was like, oh, dude, it's kind of like the why I've never thrown out 2K9, MLB 2K9, right? That's the reason why I never threw it out, because Tim Lincecum was on the cover. That was our guy. That was the first time, right? So it's like you get games and you get those type of things. The one thing is, I don't know if they sell video games like in the covers anymore. Do they still sell them with covers? Like do they sell them in the box? Is what I'm saying. Because that was the cool thing with back then with 2K9 with Tim Lincecum, because you have the case. You have the case of the game, but now it's all like digital. So I don't know if you can get the case. Can you? Is that a thing? I have no idea. I haven't bought a video game. Clearly, all the games that I have gotten have been digitally. So I haven't gone to a physical game store. I haven't gone to GameStop in years. I don't even know if they still exist. I assume they still exist. Games are popular. But I haven't gone to a GameStop. wasn't there something that happened with like their stock during COVID? Didn't something wonky happen with theirs? Anyways, I'm getting off track. But I haven't bought a physical video game in quite some time. But let's go out here really quickly, just see what else is everybody else is talking about. For streamer codes for early access. Okay. I can see that because they're pretty pop. Like the one video I was watching, it had like 2 million views. I was like, who the fuck is watching this? Which I was. So then I answered my own question. Let's see. Oh, Pat H working OT again, dude. I apologize for that, but glad you're in here, and hopefully I can make OT go by a little faster, man. But let's see what else we got going on here. Did the Warriors win, by the way? The Warriors win? Traded in 30 games and still had to pay. Oh yeah, no, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. I remember those days, man. I remember I used to take in all the hot games. I was like, oh dude, this is gold. I'm gonna take this in. I'm not gonna have to pay for a game. And they're like, oh yeah, that's still $25. I'm like, the fuck? I just gave you 10 games. Like what are you talking about? Dude, those were the days. But going back to Lori, because I just wanted to see if you guys were interacting with Lori's question, but I'll go ahead and answer Lori's question. If you were making up the lineup today, let's go back out to it, and you guys can go ahead and chime in on this as well. Que onda, way? Yeah, what's up, AJ? Go ahead and hit us up on the cruise line if you wanna jump in on the conversation and just say hello. But really quickly, so go back out to Lori Galvin. If you were making up the lineup today with Ramos and Fitzgerald out, what would it be? In my opinion, the lineup would be, I mean, the immediate replacement for Ramos, I would say, is Luis Matos. That's the easy fix. The other one with Tyler Fitzgerald, you have, I guess, two options, right? I mean, you have really with Casey Schmidt, who hit an Oppo Taco a couple of days ago. You have Casey Schmidt, who is better defensively than Brett Wisely, but Brett Wisely gives you a little bit more with the bat. And by more, I mean more consistency, because you still don't really know with Casey Schmidt. But because of the plus glove, I would probably slot in Casey Schmidt at second base. Not saying that these guys aren't going to be, out there ready to play. But it is a little concerning that they're dealing with injuries, but that's what spring training is for. You want to get those taken care of. But the thing that concerns me more so, because I believe that Tyler Fitzgerald is dealing with I think it's a wrist. I can't remember exactly what it was. Maybe it's a back. It might be his back, actually. And then when you go and look to Elliot Ramos is dealing with an oblique. That's the one that's the one that scares me the most, because that can linger into the season if it's not properly taken care of. So I am all for the Giants slow playing it with Elliot Ramos. Make sure that he's right before he steps foot in the batter's box, before he rounds the bases, before he does any of that. Because if you go down Elliot Ramos, again, I said that I would throw Luis Matos in the situation, but you would prefer to have Elliot Ramos. I mean, especially with what he did last year. And he just brings a different factor, a different feel to the lineup, because he has a little bit of power. He has the power threat there that, I mean, Luis Matos can get into one, but again, with him, it's all based on consistency. But we do have a phone call. I ask and I shall receive. We got a phone call. We're going out to the cruise line. I believe we are talking to the one and only AJ Cruz. What's up, Cruz? What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, Walter? Good evening, everybody. Sorry I was late. Normally I'm on time. I was cooking dinner and I talked to my wife a little bit. But I did want to follow up on the whole GameStop thing you were talking about.
Yeah.
So they actually made a movie about the whole thing. It was called there was a documentary, but there was also a Hollywood movie called it was called Dumb Money, I believe. It was called Dumb Money.
All right.
And it kind of explains it. Basically, it's just stock market manipulation. So things that would be like illegal for like people like you and I, the hedge funds are basically taking advantage of little loopholes to overextend their positions. So basically, if you have like 100% of a stock, you can only sell up to 100 trade, buy, sell up to 100% of that, right? Well, what these guys are doing is there's a bug in the system that allows them to overextend to where they can borrow things on margin to where they don't own it, but they can borrow it, pay you on interest for having it, keeping it. It's kind of complex. So watch the movie. It'll explain it much better than I can, but basically they were gaming the system. And then there was this one guy on YouTube or Reddit or YouTube that he realized that the GameStop stock was overextended, that there was more outstanding shares that were being lent out than there were on margin than there were actually, like it was like at 127% or something like that, but it's only supposed to be 100, right? So he's like, wait, this looks funky. So then he was encouraging his people who were basically his followers who were basically like degenerates, they're gambling on stocks like the way the fat cats do. And he was like, hey, buy GameStop because then the price is going to go up, and then these people who are shorting the stock, they're going to be forced to buy it back and sell it because it's like a form of gambling to where you'll get a stock and you'll sell it, hoping it'll go down low, so then you can buy the stock back and then give it back to the original owner and you pocket the difference, right? So, but if the price goes up, then basically you need to buy it back at a higher price than if you borrowed $10, but now the stock's for $20. Well, now you got to spend $20 to get it back, so you're technically losing money. So that's what happened. So it goes pretty deep. So just watch Dumb Money. It's on Netflix. Dumb Money, and they'll explain it to you.
I got locked out of my damn out of my family's Netflix, so I got to figure out how to get back into that thing. You know what I mean?
I'll say call Derek, but he'll probably ask for something in return. So no, don't talk to him. Derek likes to. Derek's like, what is everybody saying? Everybody's saying this. Then I'll pick this. So Derek's a contrarian, just to rain on the parade. He's like Peter. Anyway, hey, I'm walking my dog and my fucking cat's following me. Come here.
You're walking your dog and your cat's following you? What, where are you?
Yeah,
you safe? Are you
first
outside?
world. Oh, I'm outside. Don't worry, dog. This is first world problems. Don't worry about me. Let me see. So yeah, watch Dumb Money. It'll explain it to you. And then of course now they want to pass legislation to where the retail traders like you and I can't do that, right? But yet they can still they can keep shorting the system. It's all rigged. You know how it is. Two-party system. There's
I'll have to check that out. Yeah. So what was it? Dirty Money? Dumb Money on Netflix.
Dumb
Money on Netflix. Yeah. Since we're talking stocks, AJ, real quick, I got to ask you a question because we're talking about the Giants on here. We were talking pitchers. Who would you say the stock is up on, and who's the stock down on right now at this point in the spring training?
Oh my God, I'm the wrong person to ask. I'm just gonna say wait, can't even play for us anymore. Shit, who's the one guy that looks like Jesse Plemons?
The what?
That looks like Jesse Plemons, the actor.
Jesse Plemons? Logan Webb. Yeah, Logan Webb.
Yeah. Logan Webb's our ace, bro. Start him every time.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Start him every time.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I mean, he's gonna be starting opening day. His fourth opening day start. That's I think he's tied with Tim Lincecum, right? I think he's tied with Timmy. And
really?
For the franchise, I think he's tied with Tim Lincecum. He's only trails Madison Bumgarner, who I believe has 6, and Juan Marichal, who has 10. I believe opening day starts, and I don't know if those are consecutive. I want to just say that those are it might be consecutive. It might be consecutive opening day starts.
I'm going for Logan Webb. See, this is where I'm going to lean on you in the community to learn me on how to be a Giants fan because I don't know.
Oh, so, dude. That's why you're here, bro. We're going to put you on game. We're going to put you on game here on Passion for the Pastime, dude. We're gonna get you up to speed.
Right.
By the time that the season is good to go, you are a freaking expert in this shit, and you'll be a orange and black head. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can do that. No, I don't want black heads, man. That's fucking my complexion. But hey, speaking of insider stuff. So what's going on with this with this station beef? Are the hostilities, are they boiling down? Because I listened this morning to Murph, and Murph sounded like he was tapping out. So it sounds like he couldn't take a good roasting from the dream.
No. Dude, by the way, that phone call, if nobody heard that phone call, it was the cooler segment yesterday, right? It was it was in an 8:30 segment. If nobody heard that, that was A1 caller stuff. Like I need that to be made into a promo. And I'm telling you guys, like, I can't do it. I can make it into a damn promo, but it's not my show. So it would be in bad taste, right? It'd be in bad taste if I was to do that. But that phone call was freaking incredible, dude. When I was listening to it, I started howling. As far as the beef, I mean, I'm not gonna put any words into anybody's mouth or anything like that. But just continue to listen. See if it flares up again. I'll just say that.
All right, because actually I think I heard young Tony's feelings, man. I could see he was like mad. He was like all kinds of mad at the back. His neck was all red. You could tell Murph and Marcus was having a ball, dude. He was. Oh yeah. I bet him at Giants Day in San Jose, so he knows who I am. But he was rolling. So I know young Tony's over there all mad. See like steam coming out of his ears and shit. So I was gonna call. So if the hostilities are over, I was going to call him back and just tell him that I admire his grit. I admire his testicular fortitude, but not to get too far ahead of himself and fly too close to the sun, baby, because that's where you begin to fail.
No.
If you're the man, then let other people call you the man. Don't say it yourself, because then you got to defend yourself. And if you don't check yourself, you're going to riggedy wreck yourself, and you don't want that, baby, because who's going to run the board in the morning? I don't know. So,
that's a good one. No, you definitely give him a call. Give him a call. Young Tone, he's a good sport. The morning show, they're good sports about it. Yeah, just give him a call, bro. But we're good. We're all chilling. I saw that freaking Tim tried to loop me into that shit yesterday, and
that was funny. That was funny.
It was funny. It was.
I'm J. Cole.
I had no idea. I had no idea what the hell happened. And then I saw Tim. I was like, yo, Tim. Like, are text messages not sacred anymore? Like, you have to read my text messages on air without my consent? I didn't even sign a consent form.
I think with the show, with the name of Dirty Work, that's what you gotta expect. You gotta expect low blows, backstabs, and sucker punches. I mean, Tacky's one of the. What does that tell you, dude? He's one of the dirtiest dudes I know. So if Tacky's rolling with you, then the show, then Dirty Work is not above underhanded tactics and there's not above privileged information to use at a later date to one's own benefit.
Yeah,
so you gotta be careful. I like Tim, but
I told Tim, I was like, bro, I'm not gonna text you anymore. like if you need to talk to me, call me. You can't read that. I guess he can record. I guess what would be worse? A text message or a recorded voice call? What would be worse? More incriminating? Probably the voice call.
Text message for sure.
Is it really
the voice call? You can say that wasn't me. You can say the voice. That was probably my cousin Ernesto Dominguez. I landed my phone and he got on there perpetrating it was me. He likes to put more sugar in the Kool-Aid, so he was trying to stir some more beef up for ratings.
That's incredible.
That sounds like something Ernesto would do. So.
That's incredible, man. Well, AJ, I appreciate you giving me a call, man. It's always fun to connect with you. Being that this is the last show of the week and the last show of February, bro. Next time we talk, it's gonna be March. We're gonna be getting closer to the start of the season, dude. I'm getting excited. I'm really getting excited.
All right. Let's do it, man. Let's go. Let's go. Sneak a couple fish in the stadium. We'll just kick it. I'm with it.
Hell yeah. By the way, you're gonna get out to FanFest on the 8th, March 8th, I think it is. Getting out there?
I don't know. We'll see. Because in case you didn't know, I'm actually starting a new job in another week.
Congrats.
Yeah. Thank you. I've been off since July, so I'm getting back into the game. I'm super excited. So I might be wrapping some loose ends up, but you know what? That might be my final hurrah before I join the Working Dead. So let me see. I might be able to get out there.
All right,
let me know.
I'll
let you know.
I'm planning on it. I'm definitely planning on it. Just a chance to get out to the ballpark right before the season starts. I'm just itching to get out there, so I'll probably be out there. But yeah, let me know if you make the trip, and I'll talk to Rockin'. We'll talk to Tacky. Maybe see if everybody else wants to meet up for the Fan Fest. Maybe we'll go have a drink at Momo's afterwards.
I'm done with that. We can do it. I'll put the word out.
Hell yeah, bro. All right. Well, AJ, dude, appreciate you calling in as always, and I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you soon, bro.
Yes, sir. All right, Walter. Have a good evening.
All right, man. You too. That was AJ Cruz on the cruise line. Again, you guys can call in at any time that you want to join the conversation on the cruise line. I don't have it up yet, but let me go ahead and put that up really quickly. But we're going to be getting on out of here shortly. But 925-392-5348. Again, 925 the day. 925. What did we used to say? 925. Babe Ruth, the year I was born. Melky Cabrera. Pablo Sandoval. That's what it is. All right, let's see what else we got going on here in the YouTube chat. When are the Giants releasing their new City Connect gear? That is a good question, Mike. And I heard that it's sick in a good way. Like, I heard that it's great. I'm trying to figure out, like, what would I want in a City Connect jersey? That might be a topic for another day. We'll think about it. We'll brainstorm. But what would I want to see? I might want to go back to the because I know we got the this one, right? That has the SF on the chest. Love those. Love the black jersey, but and I know they have a black jersey, a black alternate. But I would love to see going back to like the blackout days with Barry Bonds with the Giants, right? Like the Giants cursive. Those black jerseys, those were sick. I liked those, so I would love to see something, some type of homage to that, or God, I don't know what else I would want. Something better than the white. It can't be white, and I don't want it to be too orange. I mean, we already have Orange Fridays. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. We'll have to definitely figure that out really quickly. Let me run through these videos, and I'll save some for next week. Actually, I'll save some for next week. But let's go ahead and do one thing here with I'm trying to find Willie Adames with our guy Austin Scottsdale. He was out there at Scottsdale last week, and we're going to talk to Austin Scott next week at some point. We are going to be speaking with Katie Woo on Tuesday next week, beat reporter for The Athletic for the St. Louis Cardinals. We'll talk to Katie Woo on Tuesday at roughly around 6 o'clock or so. So we'll talk to her, and maybe we'll get a George Contos, maybe we'll get a Bill Lasky, but then we'll have an Austin Scott that day or next week as well, because he's been pumping out the content here on the digital channels for KNBR. So let me go ahead and play this. He sat down with Willie Adames, and Willie Adames was pretty much talking about how he's loving the idea of being the left side of the infield with Matt Chapman.
Know what it's like having Matt Chapman next to you at third base. Does that bring any extra pressure to be good on the defensive end with him over there?
No, it's just, I think it's just going to be fun. You know, like, I'm really excited to play along his side, and obviously just to, you know, pick up his brain and just to like try to help each other to be better. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to help him to be even better than what he is already. So, but just know, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. And obviously, I think instead of like adding pressure, it just take pressure away for me, just to like go out there and like, you know, enjoy playing shortstop, because like he already told me like you don't even have to worry about the backhand side, because I cover that area too. I was like, okay, never mind, I just go and play the middle. And he's like, yeah, no, but it's exciting, you know, just to have somebody like him right next to you.
I literally cannot wait to see those two guys ball out. I mean, let me just pull up this video or this picture. It looks really nostalgic, but it's like this is the mentality. This is your leaders of the San Francisco Giants. Matt Chapman right there, Willie Adames on the position player side. I can't wait to see these guys ball out. I just can't wait to see them be that strong left side of the infield for the Giants for many, many, many years. I just cannot wait to see that. Just look at these guys. Look at their personality. They look like, you know what? If I was walking down an alley, I would probably avoid them. Like they look like they mean business. So I'm getting behind just seeing these guys, Matt Chapman and Willie Adames. I'm really excited to see what that left side of the infield is going to look like defensively. I'm sure Logan Webb is excited to see that too. I'm sure Justin Verlander is excited to see that too. You're going to see them try to pitch guys away, pitch lefties away and jam righties, so that they just end up having everything go to the left side of the infield. So it's going to be really interesting to see those guys. But just look at that. Look at this. Like, that is the picture that started it all. Like you know what I mean? This is them going on to win a championship. That's the picture. That's the first one. That's the original. But yeah, so I'm really excited about that. Austin Scottsdale obviously sitting down with Willy Adames, and then I'll do one more that is baseball related because there was a fun Jung-Hoo Lee conversation starter that we'll get into at some point next week because Jung-Hoo Lee is incredible. But this was talking about his performance, right? Because last year he wasn't able to fully showcase what he can do. We all know that he has plus speed. And then the big question was, you know, how, is he a base stealer? Like, we know that he's fast. We know that he's the grandson of the wind. How does that translate? How does that mix into him being a base stealer? And, you know, in the KBO, base stealing wasn't necessarily a thing, a part of his game, right? So coming over to Major League Baseball and the coaches kind of working with him and turning him into and using one of those tools that can be an advantage to the San Francisco Giants. Because again, remember that this Giants team was the last team to steal a base at the start of the year. But to hear the mindset, the approach of not only Jung-Hoo Lee, but also the coaching staff and the coaching point, a coaching emphasis for this young guy, Jung-Hoo Lee, in his second year, or essentially his rookie year 2.0, he talks about how many bags he is trying to steal, willing to steal, allowed to steal. This is Jung-Hoo Lee with Austin Scott at KNBR.
On bases do you hope to get this season?
일단 코치님들은 무조건 30개 이상 할 수 있다고 하고 계시고 저 또한 그렇게 할 수 있도록 노력하고 있어서 그렇게 한번 해보고 싶습니다.
As a player and also from the support from the coaching staff, we're aiming at a number as 30 right now at the moment. So that'd be a great number to achieve.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine Jung-Hoo Lee? I mean, holy crap. Him getting 30 stolen bases. I feel like that is a huge step in the right direction, especially where he would be hitting in the number 3 spot. If he was able to, you know, get a single, steal a base, and be a table setter for the Giants. Obviously, it works better if he's in the leadoff spot. But then again, today, Lamont Wade Jr. in the leadoff spot had worked 2 walks. That's what you want to see from a leadoff spot. That's what you want to see from Lamont Wade Jr. The only thing with Lamont Wade is it's well documented is that he is injury risk waiting to happen. So once he starts moving around those base paths, how long until he ends up getting a lower body injury? It's just a matter of time. Hopefully the conditioning, hopefully the added running that he has been doing in the off season, hopefully it pays off and it gives him a little bit more resilience, a little bit more conditioning to where he doesn't get injured. But you know, you never know. I mean, the guy, he has a history that's why he became a platoon player, is that the more that he was out there, the more that he was at risk. And you can say that about any player, but certain players just have that in them. They just have that deficiency of being injury prone. So we'll have to see that. But Jung-Hoo Lee, if he was to steal 30 bases, then you're starting to see a different variation of a Giants lineup. You're starting to see different ways that they can score. You're not going to be relying, and that just tells me that this is going to be a different approach in the offense. If he's going to be stealing bases at a high rate, then you're not going to be seeing all these guys trying to put both cheeks into it. You're not going to see them swinging for the fences. They're going to have adjustments at the plate in 0-2 counts. They're going to have adjustments at the plate when you look to situational baseball. That is an aspect of this Giants team that has not existed in the Farhan era. And right, I mean, yeah, whatever, 2021, you want to look at the 107 win season, okay. A lot of things went right for them in that time. And Logan Webb has even said that things that they were doing it worked. They all fall into place. But then when things that they were doing that wasn't working, they weren't willing to change. They weren't willing to adjust or get back to what was working. That is the difference that I think that we're going to see of the 2025 Giants. And with Jung-Hoo Lee referencing the coaches and what he wants to accomplish as well, that just tells me that the approach is vastly different of what the Giants team was in 2024 going into 2025. So I'm really excited to see what this kid from the KBO, what he's able to do in his essentially second year, but really it's his rookie year extended, right? I mean, it's still his second year, if you ask me. And then one more thing before we get on out of here. Kind of got through everything else that we needed to get to, but really quickly, I was talking about this. I referenced this at the top of the show. MLB.com put out a list, 10 bounce back candidates in 2025. Notice how they listed. I don't know if you guys can see the cursor while I'm doing this, but notice how they listed 3 of my Jays. Jesus Christ, the Blue Jays, they really need to have a reckoning this year. Bo Bichette needs to bounce back. He had a bad year last year. Kevin Gausman, I felt like Kevin Gausman didn't have a bad year last year, but maybe he did. I honestly, I hadn't looked at his numbers. And then Chris Bassett, but then there it is, right above Kevin Gausman, Justin Verlander. Would love to see Justin Verlander get this honor, be a bounce back player of the game or player of the year, right? I know they don't give those out in baseball, comeback player of the year, right? They don't give that out. That's only a football award, I believe. I think that's a basketball award too. Do they give that out in baseball? I don't think they do. But anyways, if they did, I would love for it to go to Justin Verlander. But then you look at all these other guys that are vying for that, or the top 10 candidates. Luis Castillo, yeah, he had a bad year last year. Walker Buehler, I can definitely see that, especially in Boston. You got Gleyber Torres going over to the Tigers. Luis Robert, if he can stay healthy, I mean, that would be interesting. And maybe, that White Sox symbol changes to a Giant symbol at some point. I don't know. I can hope, right? Paul Goldschmidt, I mean, taking advantage of Yankee Stadium, that could maybe play into his wheelhouse. And then Austin Riley. I mean, Austin Riley is a fantastic player, so it's going to be really interesting to see that. Walker. Oh, there it is. Walker Buehler. Mike Val chiming in. Walker Buehler was and still is my pick for bounce back player of the year. All right, fantastic, dude. I appreciate that. Mike Val is coming in hot right now as we're ending this podcast. But yeah, so a lot of things to kind of look at going into the weekend, as we mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, and what we were talking about with the pitching rotation with Landon Roupp doing his thing. We're going to get our first look at Kyle Harrison. Probably look at 2 innings. Probably look at 2 innings. Maybe Logan Webb goes 3. Maybe it's a 3-2-2, and then the rest of the bullpen guys. Maybe that's the plan for tomorrow. As the Giants, who are the Giants taking on tomorrow? I'm not entirely sure who they're taking on tomorrow. Who are they pitching against? Oh, they're going against the Brewers. They're going against Willie Adames' old team. And then on the weekend, you're going to be able to watch the Giants on MLB Network. They'll be playing against the Los Angeles Dodgers. That should be slated to be a Justin Verlander start, but it's spring training. You don't really have to do that. Maybe you can throw on the side field or something like that. You ease them along. And also, do you want to have the Dodgers look at Justin Verlander? I mean, I know that they've probably seen him before. Obviously, he's been around for 20 years. But I don't know. Maybe that's something that you don't do. Especially it's in Los Angeles, or not in Los Angeles, but it's at Camelback Ranch, rather, the home of the Los Angeles Dodgers in Arizona in the Cactus League. So that is the weekend plan that is going to happen. But again, a lot of it happens tomorrow with Logan Webb pitching, with Hayden Birdsong and Kyle Harrison. Again, nobody listed for Saturday. Let me go ahead and click on it in case I miss it. I haven't seen anybody put out anything for Saturday. We're a couple of days away from that. But the Giants go to Camelback, and then they are back at Scottsdale to play against the Angels on Sunday. Then they have the off day on Monday, on the third off day in Cactus League play. So we'll break it all down then. So you guys have a good one. I really enjoyed having this conversation with you guys tonight. Really appreciate everybody stopping by. Mike Val, Otis, Pat H, AJ Cruz for the phone call, Lori Galvin, rockin' New Era. Saw Tacky in here earlier. Wes was in here as well. Really appreciate everybody for stopping by. Really appreciate it. Mama J was in here also, just going through, making sure I didn't miss anybody on the list. Ernie gave me a heart attack, said no audio. Ernie gave me a heart attack, but it all worked out. He popped in and said hello. Good to see Ernie as well. Our Galvin stopped by. It was a fun time. So you guys have a good one. Be safe. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the podcast. Again, I mentioned we won't be having a show tomorrow, but we will be back on Monday. We'll be back on Monday to do another edition, the first March edition of Passion for the Pastime, as we get closer, as we inch closer to the regular season. Again, the Dodgers and the Cubs start off the regular season in Tokyo, in the Tokyo series in Japan. Dodgers Cubs on the 18th. They play 2 games and then they come back and finish out the rest of their spring trainings, which has always been a weird thing, but it's not happening to the Giants, so that is okay by me. Giants start their season on the 27th of March in Cincinnati. Then they get that off day on Friday to account for the rain, because you know it's that time of year. You gotta account for rain delays. Then they play Cincinnati and finish off that road trip against the Houston Astros, and then they come back home and play against these very same Seattle Mariners that they just played against today. So we'll continue to talk about everything on Monday. We'll break down all the games from the weekend. We'll see what Marco Luciano is doing. We'll see what Luis Matos is doing. We'll see if we'll how the debut went for Kyle Harrison. We'll look at all these things, all these storylines, because it's ever evolving in spring training. It's going to be a lot of fun to break it all down. So you guys have a good one. Be safe. Really appreciate you guys all stopping by. EB just checked in on the way out. What's up, Walter? Had to watch my Warriors. Talk to you down the road. Yeah, EB, really appreciate it, and I totally understand. And if you guys want to get more Warrior talk, Eric Engel and I believe my guy Danny Dunn, they're on the Locked On podcast network right now, the Postcast. I just got a picture earlier today with my guy Danny Dunn and Eric going at it on the Postcast. So go ahead and check it out with Eric Engel on the Postcast if you guys want to go check it out and talk some dubs. So you guys have a good one. Be safe. Have a good weekend. Have a great weekend. I believe there's going to be a little bit of rain, but if there is sun where you are, go out and enjoy it, because last weekend sun was out, sun was blazing, felt incredible. Spring is here, spring has sprung. Really excited moving forward as we flip the calendar from February to March. So you guys have a good one, have a safe weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday. It'll be a good one, a good show. We'll see what Kyle Harrison can bring to the table, and we'll break it all down on Monday. So everybody, thank you all once again. I'm going to get on out of here. You guys have a good one. Talk to you then.